One of life's sure bets is that we will all eventually die.
But placing a wager on when someone will pass away, well, that can be a risky investment. Investigator Ryan Kath is here with how some people are trying to profit off others' mortality.
Did you know you can invest in other people's life insurance policies? I didn't either until I got a call from a local retiree who was worried he made a big money mistake. Turns out it's a real investment, but tonight our investigation shows the potentially scary reality of betting on death.
Death benefit is $10 million.
Sitting on a couch inside their Belton home, Roy and Norma Johnson are paging through a big chunk of their nest egg.
Lymph node biopsy.
If the outlook sounds grim, it's because this investment is literally about life and death.
How big of a risk did you think you were taking?
I didn't think I was taking any risk.
In 2010, the retired couple was looking for a place to grow their savings. A financial advisor recommended something they'd never heard of before: investing in the life insurance policies of complete strangers. It sounded kind of morbid, but
This is supposed to have been a safe investment.
for $200,000, they received a share of 10 different life insurance policies. All they knew about each person was a last name, age, brief medical history, value of the policy, and an estimated life expectancy.
What made you call me?
What made me call you was I'm beginning to get a little bit skeptical.
Skeptical because it's been almost 3 years and nobody has died.
Life expectancy is a window of time. 2 to 4 years, that's a window. Something's supposed to happen within that window, but nothing's happened.
This almost sets you up to be disappointed if someone outlives expectations.
Yeah, that's true.
No matter how you feel about the type of investment, there's evidence the Johnsons had the deck stacked against them. The couple bought the policies from Life Partners, a Texas-based company that deals exclusively with life settlements as they're known in the industry. Since Life Partners began in 1991, it's acquired thousands of insurance policies valued at $3 billion. But last year, the Securities and Exchange Commission slapped the company with this lawsuit, accusing Life Partners of defrauding investors and shareholders. At the center of the controversy, life expectancies. The lawsuit says Life Partners used a single Nevada doctor for all of its life expectancy predictions, but claims he had no experience, no training, and in a decade he'd never evaluated his track record for accuracy. By 2009, the SEC says Life Partners knew 90% of people were outliving the doctor's estimates. That means investors have to kick in more money for premiums and wait longer for a payout.
Do you feel like you were duped?
When I hear that, I have been deceived.
The 41 Action News investigators conducted our own review of data filed with the Texas Department of Insurance. In 2010, the year the Johnsons invested, 77 policyholders died. The average life expectancy provided to investors by Life Partners was under 3 years. But the records show almost everyone outlived those estimates by an average of 7 years.
So here's how this works. Say you're 80 years old and you no longer want to pay the premiums on your $1 million life insurance policy. So you get a life expectancy of 8 years and then shop your policy around to companies like Life Partners, who pays you something like $250,000 for it. Life Partners then turns around and markets your policy to investors, except the government is saying they only tell people about a much lower life expectancy. That allows them to increase the price and pocket the difference.
The SEC lawsuit is not Life Partners' only brush with legal action. In 2007, it settled with the state of Colorado for more than $12 million. And a lawsuit filed last year by the Texas Attorney General compared the life expectancy issue to, quote, a used car salesman purchasing a high-mileage car and rolling back the odometer.
The pricing should be based on an accurate life expectancy assessment.
Attorneys like Jim Orr, who spoke to us on FaceTime from his Dallas home, are also pursuing a class action lawsuit.
I actually have a client that invested $1 million in 51 different policies, and not one of the policies is mature.
Tonsillectomy.
The Johnsons received the recommendation from local financial advisor Roger Sprouse, who would not interview with us for this story. But the projections he gave to the Johnsons show an attractive 17% return on investment.
You have to ask yourself, just common sense, how can they do that?
Gary Bussing is a retirement expert at the Mutual Fund store in Overland Park. He says life settlements can look appealing because they don't react to the ups and downs of the stock market. But he says they're too risky for older clients, not to mention their ghoulish nature.
These folks that own these contracts have no interest in this particular individual living. Their interest is in him dying, and that's in general not a good thing.
I could kick myself 1,000,000 times for what I did.
Tonight, the clock is ticking, and not just on the policies of these anonymous lives.
All 10 of these people could die in the next month. This could still be a really good investment for you.
It could happen that way. Who knows? Nobody knows when they're going to die. I mean, I could go before any of them people for that matter.
You might not live to see the investment pay
I may
off.
not live to see it.
The Johnsons are beginning to wonder if the first thing to show up in their mailbox will be a check or a bill for a premium payment to keep those insurance policies alive.
Life Partners declined our interview request, but has publicly denied all the allegations and says it plans to defend itself in court. Life Partners admits the negative publicity is taking a toll. Last year, the company posted a $5 million loss. Just a year earlier, it had posted a $35 million profit. Wow. Mark and Krista, the company is now telling investors and shareholders that it's going to start using a second life expectancy estimate from a firm who specializes in that line of work instead of just the one from the Nevada doctor.
Yeah. You sure feel sorry for the couple for sure, but what about the people selling the policies?
It's a choice they make, and for obvious reasons, they're supposed to be anonymous. You know, to put it bluntly, they don't want anyone to try to speed up the payout.
Right.
But we went through the 10 different policies from the Johnsons. We were able to track down one woman who lives in Texas. Her son called me back, said he doesn't want his mom to do an interview, but he did tell me that she's a very healthy 87-year-old woman, and he told me that the estimate that I told him about was only about half as long as he remembers. He said, you know, they heard 2 to 4 years, but when they sold the policy, it was something more like 7 to 9 years.
Mom's alive and well, too. All right. Very interesting story. I had no idea.
Thanks, Ryan.
Well, this story came from a viewer tip. So if you have something for our investigators to look into, email the team at investigators@kshb.com or go to kshb.com/tips and choose investigators as your topic.